BTSNews.today.in. The ever-evolving world of K-pop, where artistry, corporate power, loyalty, and public perception collide in complex and often emotional ways. Few stories have gripped fans and industry observers alike as intensely as the ongoing dispute between Min Hee Jin and HYBE. When Taehyung, globally known as V of BTS, finally offered a statement addressing the situation, the atmosphere across fandom spaces shifted instantly. His words were not explosive, nor were they accusatory. Instead, they carried a weight that only someone who has stood at the heart of HYBE's global rise could carry. Measured, thoughtful, and deeply human. To understand why Taehyung's statement resonated so powerfully, one must first understand the individuals and institutions involved. Kim Taehyung has long been regarded as one of the most artistically introspective members of BTS. His public persona blends quiet intensity with a whimsical creative spirit. Meanwhile, Min Hee Jin is widely recognized as one of the most influential creative directors in modern K-pop, having previously shaped visual identities for major acts before founding ADOR under the HYBE umbrella. HYBE, formerly Big Hit Entertainment, is the corporate powerhouse that expanded from managing BTS into a multinational entertainment conglomerate. The tension between Min Hee Jin and HYBE did not erupt overnight. It simmered through disagreements about management autonomy, corporate governance, and the philosophical direction of creative subsidiaries. As headlines intensified and public statements were exchanged, fans found themselves divided, confused, and anxious about the broader implications for artists under the HYBE umbrella. While BTS as a group had largely remained silent, focusing on individual schedules and military service obligations, speculation continued to swirl about what members privately felt. When Taehyung finally addressed the matter during a live broadcast, and later in a written message shared through official channels, the tone he adopted was deliberate. He began by acknowledging the emotional weight the situation carried for fans. He recognized that ARMY, the BTS fandom, often feels deeply protective of both the artists and the creative teams that have contributed to their success. He did not take sides in a legal or corporate sense. Instead, he framed the issue as one rooted in the complexities of growth. He spoke about change, describing it as something that inevitably brings friction. In his words, growth within a company as large as HYBE does not happen in silence. It happens through debate, disagreement, and at times painful restructuring. He expressed gratitude toward the leadership that had supported BTS from their earliest, most uncertain years. At the same time, he acknowledged the role creative directors like Min Hee Jin have played in shaping the broader landscape of K-pop innovation. His statement carried the nuance of someone who understands that institutions and individuals both contribute to artistic ecosystems. Observers noted that Taehyung carefully avoided inflammatory language. There were no dramatic accusations or endorsements. Instead, he emphasized the importance of dialogue and respect. He mentioned that artists often stand at the intersection of creativity and business, experiencing firsthand how decisions made in boardrooms ripple into rehearsal rooms and recording studios. In doing so, he subtly reminded listeners that idols are not passive participants, but stakeholders whose careers are shaped by corporate dynamics. Industry analysts interpreted his words as an attempt to stabilize public sentiment. In times of corporate controversy, silence from major artists can create a vacuum filled by speculation. By speaking calmly and deliberately, Taehyung reduced that vacuum. His statement neither inflamed tensions nor dismissed the seriousness of the conflict. Instead, it reframed the narrative around maturity and collective responsibility. Fans reacted immediately. Social media platforms filled with translations, analyses, and emotional responses. Many praised Taehyung for his composure, noting that his approach reflected personal growth. Others debated the implications of his neutrality, wondering whether subtle phrasing hinted at deeper sentiments. Yet the overall tone among ARMY was one of relief. Hearing directly from a member of BTS provided reassurance that the artists were aware, engaged, and thoughtful about the situation. That it is important to consider the historical context behind Taehyung's measured tone. BTS's relationship with HYBE has always been symbiotic yet complex. The company's meteoric rise is inseparable from BTS's global success. From modest beginnings to stadium tours and billboard dominance, the group and the corporation evolved together. Public conflict between key figures within that corporate structure inevitably touches upon BTS's legacy. Min Hee Jin, for her part, represents a different dimension of HYBE's expansion strategy. Her emphasis on distinct artistic branding and youth-centric storytelling brought fresh energy into the company's portfolio. The dispute between her and HYBE highlighted questions about creative autonomy versus centralized oversight. For artists like Taehyung, who value creative freedom deeply, the debate is not abstract. It resonates personally. During his statement, Taehyung spoke about trust. He said that trust is built over time, but can be shaken quickly when misunderstandings escalate. He encouraged fans not to jump to conclusions based solely on headlines. His message subtly urged patience, suggesting that legal and corporate matters require time to resolve. In doing so, he positioned himself not as a commentator on corporate strategy, but as a bridge between anxious fans and a turbulent narrative. Cultural commentators noted that Taehyung's communication style reflects broader shifts in how K-pop idols engage with controversy. A decade ago, artists might have remained completely silent, leaving all public messaging to corporate PR teams. Today, idols with global influence often feel compelled to address issues directly, acknowledging their agency and their bond with fans. Taehyung's statement exemplified this evolution. He balanced respect for corporate structures with recognition of fan emotions. The reaction from industry insiders was equally telling. Some interpreted his remarks as a subtle reminder that artists' voices matter in corporate governance discussions. Others saw it as a strategic move to prevent market instability. HYBE's stock performance, public perception, and brand partnerships are all influenced by how controversies unfold. A calm message from one of the company's most globally recognized artists can temper volatility. Yet beyond business implications, there was something deeply personal in Taehyung's tone. He spoke about the human side of conflict. He mentioned that people within the industry work long hours, driven by passion, and that disagreements often arise from differing visions rather than malice. This humanizing perspective reframed the dispute not as a battle of villains and heroes, but as a clash of perspectives within a rapidly changing industry. For many fans, this nuance was refreshing. Online discourse often thrives on polarization. Taehyung resisted that dynamic. By refusing to simplify the narrative into right and wrong, he invited a more thoughtful conversation. He acknowledged the complexity without diluting the seriousness. As the news cycle continues to evolve, Taehyung's statement remains a reference point. It demonstrated how a global artist can engage with controversy responsibly. It reminded fans that institutions are made of people, and that creative industries inevitably experience tension as they grow. In the broader context of K-pop history, moments like this mark transitions. They reveal how power, creativity, and communication intersect. Taehyung's words did not end the dispute between Min Hee Jin and HYBE. Legal proceedings and corporate negotiations follow their own timelines, but his intervention shifted the emotional temperature.
I'll always show up and make a statement.